I just did.
All right.
Hello, everyone. I hope we're having a good day.
We're having fun.
We are. I'm Lonnie,
I'm Mark.
and we are Untitled Nerd Network.
Brought to you by Infinity Flux.
Yes, there we
right
go.
Here
There we go. You knew your cue.
Yeah.
And this is some kind of malarkey.
This is TV Malarkey.
We're talking Game of Thrones, ain't we?
Right. Now,
Okay,
I want to
okay.
go ahead and apologize to Sarah, because this is normally, they do this, but if I could be awake
I
on Sunday
conceded.
nights.
I conceded on this because you've been just badly wanting to get on here and talk Game of Thrones. And any chance I have to talk Game of Thrones a little more, okay. But, me and Sarah have our live talk show after. And I was like, this right here is not going to cut into that audience. So
This, matter of fact, people should be watching this before the new episode, right?
yes,
Okay.
this will be, I'll probably post this Sunday afternoon.
So for you Supernatural fans, this is the Game of Thrones road so far.
Now, know that there are going to be spoilers through the, what is this?
Third episode. Fourth episode.
Fourth?
3, 1, 2. Yeah, this is 3.
2, and then we've done
Stormborn.
fourth
Yeah,
one.
fourth. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be spoilers through the fourth one because we actually did a talk show on the first 2, and then we've done 2 live shows since. So,
Right.
yeah, we are over halfway through because I think there's only,
There's
7
going to
episodes?
only be 7 episodes for this first half.
So 4 are already done. Only
Yeah.
3 more left. And you want to get on here and tell your thoughts on the season so far, which is probably going to be about a minute of the first 3 episodes, and then the next 10 minutes, everything else that happened in episode 4 in like those last 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, the last 15 minutes of episode 4. But actually, there was actually a lot that hit in episode 4 that I loved. That I've actually picked up on. Like, I love the fact that Littlefinger was trying to get into Bran's head, and Bran threw his own words back at him.
Yes.
Did you the Chaos is a Ladder line from way back in season 1 when he was telling I think it was Viserys that Viserys was like, you're in a pit of chaos, and he's like, no, chaos isn't a pit, chaos is a ladder.
It's interesting that he knows a lot.
Oh,
It's
Bran
like
knows.
you're not going to get anything over on Bran.
Yeah.
Because
Why do you think he gave the dagger? So Littlefinger, spoilers again. So Littlefinger takes the dagger that someone tried to use to kill Bran, puts it in Bran's hands. Bran knows that I bet you money Bran knows that it was Littlefinger that sent somebody to kill him so that he could, because I personally think Littlefinger started the whole War of the Five Kings just so that he could manipulate his way to the Iron Throne.
I don't think he did that.
You know?
I always was under the impression Cersei did it.
And all the roads point that way.
Yeah, because they wanted to kill him so he wouldn't rat them out.
Right. But all the information about the dagger we get from Littlefinger. Whose dagger was it? Littlefinger gave them that, the last time I saw this dagger, it was, in the hands of Tyrion Lannister, yada, 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 blah, blah. Any information that they got about that dagger came from Littlefinger.
That's a very interesting little theory you got there.
And Littlefinger had, like at the very beginning of the series, the Game of Thrones. In the Game of Thrones, you either play or you die, right? He has been playing this game since day 1. I personally think that out of everyone, he is the one that has been the most manipulative and moving the most chess pieces on the board.
Oh, I remember whenever the whole deal with Ramsay was going on, while Ramsay was still alive, people were telling me that Littlefinger was going to end up being the one who was ruling. And I was like, and then you look at it, and yeah, he knows more than just about anybody. And, it began, with just having his women at the brothel telling him all these secrets that people were saying. And
Yeah.
that's what he dealt with, secrets. That was his currency.
Yeah, and I think that I actually think he's a little bit deeper into it than Viserys is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He seems to know more than him. So, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be like all about the whole battle at the end of episode 4 was amazing, but there were just little things that I've been picking up throughout the season that's been like, they are very, very strongly implying that Dany and Jon are going to get together, which will be interesting considering he's her nephew.
Yeah, I actually did read an article that said the Game of Thrones showrunners are trying very hard to let everybody know that incest is coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
I
like,
mean, they've got
okay.
their own theme music now. And like I could have swore and there was me and some people at work, we were talking about it, like, you know, when they went into the cave to look at the pictures, they have their own theme music now. If you want to go back and watch it, the music that plays while they're walking through the cave hasn't been heard in the series until that part. And then when they were walking out, they framed it in such a way that it looked like they were holding hands until they got out of the cave. So they are very, very slowly implying that it's coming together. And so going back to Bran and the dagger, you know, I'm willing to bet that he knows that it was Littlefinger that sent the assassin. So that's why he gave it to Arya. Because, and oh my God, she was a badass with it. The whole scene between her and Brienne.
That was,
oh my God.
That, like I was telling Sarah during the live show, that scene, up until that scene, I wasn't really impressed with the episode. And it got to where I was kind of going into damage control. I was thinking this episode's not going to be that great. If anything else, this scene between them will be the saving grace of the episode. That'll be what makes this good. And then, you know, they show up and they're like, "Hey, where did Daenerys Targaryen go?" "Oh, she left." And then next thing you know, like as soon as they showed Jaime Lannister and everybody on the road, I was like, "Ah, crap."
Yep.
I was like, "There's no way they're going to show this episode." And they did. They paid off right away.
So I have some issues with that scene, though. Like, those men would have fled. I'm sorry. You know, I don't care if Jaime Lannister is standing there saying, "Hold the line." If the guy next to me gets burnt into ash, I'm out.
Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
that
gone.
Because there's no way.
No, okay, these people have never in their life seen a dragon. According to them, dragons are myths. They've never existed.
Yeah.
And it all ties back to, there's been several articles about it, about Robert. Robert predicted all of this. You can't stand up to a Dothraki horde on the open field. You can't. Especially when they're backed by a dragon. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, and he predicted it all in the first thing and just laid it out. And that's pretty much the game plan Dany is running right now. She's running the game plan that Robert laid out way back in season 1 when he was talking about, if I were her, this is what I'd do. And
he had a plan to kill her off. Tried a couple of times. And
so
he ended up getting killed before he could do it. And then whenever he died, everybody after him was like, like they didn't even think about her.
Nope.
And then she...
and here she is.
Yep.
So there's also the theory that... that Wyvern and Cersei poisoned the arrows, and that Drogon's still going to die. Because Drogon was named after Khal Drogo, and that's how he died.
God, one little,
yeah, in the shoulder even. So I mean,
was that poison that killed him?
No, it just got infected. So it was internal poison, but I mean, I'm loving this season so far. I think, you know, like when I first started watching this series, the first 2 scenes that I wanted to see were the battle on the Blackwater, because in the book, like I'd read the books, the book laid that out perfectly.
They did a pretty good job with the exploding ships and stuff.
Yeah, and then the Red Wedding. I wanted to see the Red Wedding for 2 reasons. Number one, I loved watching the internet lose their freaking mind, and I wanted to see how well they did it. And the Battle of the Bastards was probably the next best scene. This scene tops all of those, I think.
This scene, where this was 4 episodes into the 7th season, this was the scene that we were waiting 6 full seasons and 3 episodes to see.
And we didn't even get the full scene that we were supposed to get, because it was just the Dothraki horde and 1 dragon. She's got 2 more. And
I don't think you'll ever see all 3 dragons fight together.
Well, yeah, I would say
especially
that
if this one dies.
Well, no, because remember there was that whole thing of she's going to have 3 riders, and of course Jon's going to be the second one, and there's a hint that the riders are going to be so there's a huge theory running around that Tyrion is a Targaryen too.
Yes, and that was why his father hated him so much.
And so the theory is that it's going to be Tyrion, Jon, and Dany are going to be the Dragon Riders.
There's also a theory going around that Jaime Lannister is the foretold leader.
That he's the light, the the light that the red priest is looking for. That is possible. He's going to have to learn how to swim with full plate on, but sure.
He's alive.
That was something else I saw too. Like, that was like a lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever seen a lake that deep before?
Not right on the edge.
Because he was like gone.
Maybe some kind of optical illusion.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I was like, that can't be that deep.
Who saved him?
Braun.
Yeah, because he was right there.
That had to be Braun.
It had to be.
Yeah, that's the only person I could think of that it could be. But you're right. The episode 4 was great. I just like the fact that they're putting subtle little hints of it in everything, like the Danny and John thing they're bringing together, and truth be told, my other second favorite scene so far from this season is Jamie just continues to redeem himself, even though he's quote unquote
he's back on the dark side.
He's back on the dark side, but he's still he's gone from being what he was to being honorable. Like, even when he went to the Queen of Highgarden, here, this is going to be a drink, you're not going to feel anything, blah blah blah. And even when she was just going off on him, he
How satisfied were you with that little exchange?
That exchange was great. And then, of course, Euron Greyjoy is becoming my second favorite character next to Tyrion. Just because of that whole conversation he had with Jamie of like, so, how does she like it?
Yeah.
Does she like a finger in the bum? Just that whole scene. I was just like,
wow. Very, oh God, how do you foresee? Wait, hold on, let's see. 1, 2. Okay, next time we do this is going to be just a couple of days before the season finale.
Right.
So, where do you foresee the next 2 episodes going?
I think it will start really setting up the final. I think it will set up for the final confrontation between. They're going to have to resolve the whole Cersei thing, and get set up to where the back half of this season will be the White Walkers. Because we've really only seen just a hint of the White Walkers, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but in the opening credits of each, how in the opening credits they show us which places we're going to see and stuff like that.
I know
there's a land bridge now.
Yeah, it froze over.
Yeah, it froze over, so the White Walkers don't have to go through the wall; they can just walk around it.
How convenient.
At Eastwatch by the Sea. So that they're coming, and I think that they're going to have to resolve the whole Dany, Cersei, Jon Snow thing, so that the back half of this season can set up for the White Walkers. Either that, or they're going to have to tack on another season.
Oh, they're not.
So
I'd like for them to.
Yeah, I think before the mid-season, I think they'll have resolved who's the king and or queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
Why not both?
See, and that's what I'm thinking they're going towards. I mean, if both of them are Targaryens, and according to the Targaryen bloodline, I mean, the Targaryens have been inbred for generations and generations. So, it would be keeping in the family, literally.
What do you think of the theory that I read and have adopted as my own of the Mad King being driven mad by Bran going back in time?
I think it is quite possible. Especially when you see what happened with Hodor.
We hadn't discussed that. I discussed it with Sarah.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, I think that it is extremely possible, considering what happened with Bran and Hodor, and how that is why Hodor became the way he was, because before that he wasn't. Yeah, it is extremely possible. It's also possible that that's why Ned was so willing to accept his fate, because you got to go back and look at it. I may have to go back and watch it, but who was Ned talking to right when they were about to cut his head off?
I don't recall ever. I'm gonna have
his lips were moving. He was talking to somebody, so he was either saying a prayer, which would be the typical thought, or was he talking to Bran?
We'll see.
There's those things, but yes, and you just have to. I love how I don't think that we're dealing with Bran anymore either, because they made us.
He basically said Bran's dead.
Yeah, well, no, but that's just it. I think that it's the old man's body in Bran. Yeah, I think it's the old man in Bran's body. Bran's not there anymore. That's the three-eyed raven, and it's not Bran.
That's one of the reasons why he's so
detached and everything.
disconnected from the
'Cause,
family.
yeah, well, not just that. I mean, not forget just disconnected. You know, you looked beautiful on your wedding night, Sansa. Probably the worst night she would ever want to remember in her life. That's what he brings up. So, fair enough.
All right, yeah.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you letting me share my views because but yeah,
I'm just going to delete this anyway. So.
fair enough. Like, I just let him get it out and then I'm done. Screw you, Mark. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season and seeing what they do with it.
Well, we'll let the next time we get together and do this, we'll talk the lead up.
I want to try to find a way to where I can get a Monday off where I can come and sit there with you and Sarah.
Well, it's almost over.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, hopefully I can come, you know, get some time to where I can either go in late on Monday or something and come and watch it with you and Sarah and
I think we're going to be doing Westworld too if I can pull some strings.
Oh God, I'm going to have to watch that. Are you going to make me watch that? Because I tried to get through the first episode, I couldn't do it.
You don't have to, but I've already watched the first episode, did a review on it a couple of months ago.
Okay.
But I haven't done any of the other episodes. But I'm thinking about sitting down and just powering through it. Okay. We'll see, because I've heard it's one of the coolest things on TV.
You know, and I kept hearing that too, but it didn't grab me. Like, if something doesn't grab me in like inside the first 30 minutes of the first episode,
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch.
You should pick up Voltron, though. Have you watched Voltron? No. The new Voltron? You should watch the new Voltron.
No, I'm trying to
We should talk about it.
I'm trying to really not pick up any more TV, because it's just I don't have time.
All right. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up for
Yes.
this. This has been Malarkey. TV Malarkey.
Version of Malarkey, so. Also, remember, we're going to be at Wizard World. We've got that little logo down there, but we haven't really told anybody what it's about. It's Wizard World. And anybody, unless you've been living under a rock, if you're a fan of our page or our YouTube channel, we are going to be at Wizard World September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we're also going to be having a little event here at Infinity Flux on Saturday, August 19th from, I think, 2 to 5. And we're going to be giving away 2 free pairs of tickets to Wizard World Nashville. And it's going to be a big day. Basically, I think we'll have... Are you going to be here for that? You going to come by?
I might be. Actually, yeah, I could possibly do that because Kenzie's going to her grandparents that day, so I can probably swing by for that.
Okay.
That'll be what I do instead of watch Defenders.
Okay. Awesome. Well, anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Mark.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network
Right
here
here
at
at
Infinity Flux in Hickson, Tennessee. And this has been TV Malarkey talking about Game of Thrones.